This is called the Rise Award. My name's Angela Dickey. I'm happy to join the celebration today representing the Office of Educator Effectiveness at the Ohio Department of Education. I want to remind all of our guests that we're keeping our videos and microphones off and mute, so we have all our attention on our speakers this morning. Please feel free to post comments in the chat. We're going to capture that and share it with our honorees today. And with that, I'm going to invite our State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Mr. Paolo Di Maria, to get us started. Paolo?
Angela, thanks so much. It is an absolute thrill for me to be hosting this wonderful celebration. When I first heard about this award, I was like, this is so great. This is fantastic. The RISE Award, as Angela said, it's a new federal award that recognizes classified school employees, and it's overseen by the U.S. Department of Education, but it actually asks each state to identify school employees for honor and celebration. RISE stands for Recognizing Inspiring School Employees. And I love that concept of being inspiring, because that truly exemplifies the two individuals that we're going to be celebrating today. And frankly, it exemplifies, all the people that are out there working in schools and districts each and every day in the interest of supporting our children and ensuring that their school experience is a successful experience, a joyful experience, a caring experience, and one that will lead to their ultimate success. Yes, we know there's often a lot of times a focus on teachers in terms of recognition. That's why I'm so pleased that we have this opportunity to celebrate, because every one of us knows someone working in schools that has a tremendous impact on students that isn't, always necessarily the person that one might imagine is being that influence. So who doesn't think about, a lunchroom worker, a bus driver, a school secretary, a custodian, a paraprofessional, an aide, someone else in the school building who's made a real difference in our own lives at one's own school. So many times it's that care and support and love that comes from another adult that happens to, be in one of those positions that makes a huge difference in a student's life. So we in Ohio are so excited to be participating in this national recognition of inspirational school employees. When we first called for nominations, we had a tremendous response. Applications came in and nominations from across the state, from administrators, associations, parents, students, etc. And the selection committee really had a challenge to narrow it down to the two people that we are celebrating today. They scored all the applications. They did some interviews and made the final selection. And these are individuals who really demonstrate excellence in not only their work performance, but also in their, school and community involvement, in their leadership and commitment to their organizations and to the success of students, and enhancing the image of school employees in their communities and schools. So we're pleased to be here today to recognize and honor two very outstanding individuals. Barbara Ward, who's a bus driver from Fairland Local Schools in Lawrence County, and Sir Sandra Mcpherson, who's a paraprofessional from Toledo Public Schools in Lucas County. Barbara and Sir Sandra, why don't you join me right now on screen? And I'm going to say a few things about you. I'm going to start by introducing Barbara Ward. Now, yesterday, I had to go to a map of school districts because I wanted to see exactly where Fairland Local was. And it's about as far away from Columbus as you can get. And maybe that's a good thing. But like many of our rural districts, it's not a very densely populated area, which is why school bus drivers are so essential and so vital, right? The school bus driver is the first person a child sees at the beginning of the day, the last person they see at the end of the day, and they may spend quite a while on that bus together. And so that role becomes so important to helping students have a great academic experience, because it may set them up for their day at school and may help them process what happened at school at the end of the day. Barbara, I love the fact that your mother was also a bus driver, and that now, in fact, your daughter, I think, is also a bus driver, and your granddaughter was like a bus aide for a while. So I love this sort of consistency and through line of all in the family around, pupil transportation. Barbara is well respected and trusted by the families at Fairland to safely transport students through all the winding hills of Lawrence County, and sometimes routes that are in excess of 100 and even more than 150 miles round trip. She has an amazing work ethic and dedication to her job. She's the first person at the beginning of the day. She's probably the first employee that is up in the morning to get out on the road to make sure she does her route. And in fact, the application material said she's only missed work 3 times in 40 years. I want to read one sentence or a couple of sentences that were written as part of the application materials because I think it really spoke to this idea of how inspiring Barbara is in her community. And so this is a quote. Many of her students have disabilities, are underprivileged, and in some cases have a poor home life, and she goes out of her way to make sure that they have everything they need. It breaks her heart to see children get on her bus who don't even have a decent pair of shoes to wear, clean clothes, or without a coat in the winter. She purchases items for them, and she does it without anyone even knowing that she has. She will also provide Halloween treats, Easter baskets, and Christmas gifts so that they get to experience the things many other children take for granted or just to make their day brighter. She's completely selfless. Her humility and desire to serve others is awe-inspiring. And Barbara, you are an inspiration to us all. You are a key component of this idea that we espouse of meeting the needs of the whole child. You bring joy, you bring care, you bring love to each child's life that you impact. Barbara, congratulations so very, very much. So proud to announce that you are one of Ohio's RISE awardees. Barbara, I'm going to ask you now to say a few words yourself.
Thank you so much. I'm Barbara Ward. I've driven a school bus for 40 years at Fairland Local School in southern Lawrence County, Ohio. And you're right, there's no way to get here quickly. You can't get there from here. I'm humbled and honored, and I thank you for all the kind words. I'm blessed to have a job that I love. I truly love my work, and the special needs kids. It's just been a blessing, and it's an honor to work with them. The true reward, though, is seeing the excitement in their little faces over the simple things. I mean, it could be $1 mask for their Halloween party or a banana before their 2-hour bus ride when the little boy gets on the bus and says, I'm hungry, food, eat. Um, it's the simple things like that. Little boy cold on the back of the bus keeps asking to turn up the heat. So in my little cubby over my steering wheel, I've got a package of socks because he was coming to school with no socks on. It's things like that that we as bus drivers see that a lot of times the teachers and in the classrooms don't realize the home life or what's going on. Another reward for me is maybe a former student seeing you in the grocery store and saying, do you remember me, Miss B? Thank you. And giving you a hug. That's the true reward. This is just what bus drivers do. I'm no different than hundreds of other bus drivers all over this country. I love my kids and I love my job. But I'd like to thank you for recognizing the non-teaching personnel of the school. What we do does matter. And if we can make a difference in the life of one child, then it's all been worth it. A special thanks to my friend Joe Rigola of the Ohio Association of Public Schools for the nomination for this award. And I'd also like to thank Governor Mike DeWine for the wonderful letter he wrote recognizing our work, and the remarks of the kids' parents and some of my coworkers and our superintendent, Ms. Hayes, for the letter she wrote in recommending me. This is all overwhelming. And on a final note, I'd like to thank my own children for sharing me with my bus kids all these years. Thank you so much.
Barbara, thank you. You're such an absolute inspiration to all of us. And I love the way not only do you bring humility, but that sincere sense of being on the lookout for what does a child need and how can you play a role in helping to meet those needs. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all you do. Now I want to turn to and introduce to you Sir Sandra Mcpherson. Sir Sandra started as a recess aide, but then advanced to become a paraprofessional, working with, among other, students with disabilities at Scott High School in Toledo Public Schools in Lucas County. She embraces sincerely the idea of collaboration and cooperation, working closely with teachers and family members. This is really so essential when it comes to meeting the needs of students with disabilities, making sure all the adults that are supporting those students are working together towards common objectives, common goals, and where the student really feels supported. I want to read something also from the application materials submitted for Sir Sandra, and I quote, "She puts all of herself into anything she does and does it with integrity. Sandy is willing to learn anything for the betterment of her students. The students she works with adore her. They go to her for academic assistance, moral support, and look up to her as a mentor to be emulated." And Sir Sandra, I just want to say how much those words just inspired me as I read them, because ultimately we know that the research says that students need to have caring adults that they know they can go to and they can consult with and they can look to for guidance and they can look to for inspiration and as models. And Sir Sandra, those words tell me that you are absolutely that type of person and that your students benefit from that love, that care, and that desire to make their school experience as best it can possibly be. Sir Sandra is known as an enthusiastic, flexible, self-motivated member of the team at Scott High School, supporting every student with what they need to achieve success. She also provides leadership in the Toledo community as a member of Toledo City Council, ensuring that she brings an educator's perspective to that work and is part of the many, many decisions that have to be made in order to ensure the success of the city of Toledo. She's a motivator and an example to students and colleagues. And I also like the fact that she has her own little motto that she likes to promote, which is encourage, equip, and empower. Three really powerful words that I know inspire others around her as well as her students. Sir Sandra, congratulations. Thank you so very, very much for what you do each and every day. And now I'd like to ask you to say a few words.
Thank you, sir, for that beautiful introduction. I was like, wow, who is she? She sounds wonderful. I would first like to state the RISE committee. I would like to thank you. I would like to thank God for this time and this opportunity of being positioned to work with outstanding children in our district. And I love my job and I love what I do. Thank you to my OFT president, Melissa Cropper, and to my Toledo Federation of Teachers president, Kevin Dalton. And a special thank you, I gotta say it, to Miss Tully, who wrote all of this to make me sound like this wonderful, exuberating, enthusiastic person. I want to thank her because she did an excellent job and for working with me to put it all together. I would like to thank Mrs. Mazurik, who was the principal at Ella P. Stewart 32 years ago, that invited me to become a recess aide at that time when my daughter was going to school. She started me on my way. And then I was invited by an awesome woman who put together community partners where we were working with the schools and going out and visiting parents and making sure that our students were in school. And she was awesome in teaching me how to speak and how to be compassionate and how to have empathy for those that were sometimes less fortunate than me. And so this woman started me on my way to become a paraprofessional. Thank you to past Toledo Federation of Teachers President Francine Lawrence, who invited me to become an active part of our union, to participate and sit on the board of directors, and to get involved in the work. Her teachings and pushing me to be an influential leader within the Federation, but also in the classroom. As a paraprofessional with students with special needs, I have been in several schools, elementary, as well as now at the high school level. And I have learned so much from working with the teachers. And when I say Toledo Federation of Teachers push for excellence and high expectation of our educators, they do. And so I am honored to be one of the recipients of this RISE Award. I stand in awe of accepting this award. I humbly accept it. I want to thank Governor DeWine for the letter, and acknowledge all of you who have put together this, because this is an awesome time when we have the challenges that we are facing right now with education, where we are pushing ourselves beyond the limit, because who would ever thought we would be teaching virtually? We were not prepared for this, but we have a rise to the occasion. And our teachers are working hard, our paraprofessionals are working hard to make sure that our students have everything they need, even in this difficult time. And so I, as a paraprofessional, I commend all paraprofessionals around the world for the work that they do. And I always tell my paraprofessionals, you do make a difference. You do make a difference. And as Tina Turner says, paraprofessionals are simply the best. Thank you.
So Sandra, thank you so much for those inspiring words. And again, I can't echo them enough to say you do make a difference. And I loved your observations about compassion and empathy. And we all know how important those characteristics are, and how much more we need them at this particular time. So Barbara and Sir Sandra, thank you so much for all you do each and every day. Congratulations on your recognition. It's hard to pick just two people, and I want to observe that in recognizing you, we actually pay tribute to the thousands, and both of you made reference to this, to all the other people like you, who in many ways bring compassion, bring empathy, bring care, bring love, bring inspiration to our children, to our colleagues, and make the learning experience a joyful and meaningful one. I also want to thank, as you both did, the people who nominated you, your administrators, families and friends who are joining us today, for supporting you in your dedicated service and your efforts to make a difference for your communities and your students. So at this time, I'm going to ask all the guests who are logged onto the meeting to join me on screen. You can turn your video cameras on and join me in congratulating these two outstanding and inspiring school employees, our first RISE Award finalists. And now, Angela, I'm gonna send it back to you.
Okay, thanks, Paolo. So these two RISE finalists are moving forward to the national selection process. And that one RISE award will be announced in the spring by the U.S. Department of Education. So look for that. We're excited to find out who it is. Also, I want to ask anybody who's viewing this to consider nominating someone that you know that does an outstanding job in your school district as a classified staff. The next cycle of nominations will open in August 2021. That coincides with the start of the next school year. So just go to the department website, search for RISE, R-I-S-E award, and you'll find the nomination link there. It will be available by next August. So in the meantime, thank you for watching today. Again, congratulations to Barbara and Sir Sandra. And thank you so much. We're finished. Good job.